The audience. A part of theater that everyone thinks about, because said piece of theater is literally why it exists. Theater, as a medium, is here to tell stories and make people feel. Whether it be joy, sadness, or the visceral feeling that you as an actor receive when people on TikTok throw metaphorical tomatoes at you because you just had to riff I don't care much like it's the Star Spangled Banner. You hear me, Billy Porter? Anyway, though, the audience, as a role in theater, goes far back. Obviously. There's always been one, there always will be one. Unless the onstage AI takes over society, then the audience might be debatable. And realistically, in any day and age, theater could not function without an audience. Otherwise, it's just live-action role-playing, but on stage. Audience participation, like clapping and such, that's newer to theater. Everyone used to kinda just sit there, minimally reacting audibly, or at least until the show ended. That was mostly until one form of Iranian theater. Taziye, an indigenous form of Persian music theater, was, and still is in some villages, presented once a year to tell the story of the Battle of Karbala, in which Muhammad's grandson, Hussein, and his followers were killed in 680 AD. The literal meaning of Taziye in Arabic is mourning with a U. As you can imagine, watching a play of your most important religious figure's grandson being made a martyr could be quite moving. This still happens, and I don't just mean Taziye. Most Christian churches have some form of passion play each year showing the martyrdom and resurrection of Jesus Christ. There's a reason many theater scholars and artists consider Taziye to be one of the world's great theatrical art forms, like, for example, British director Peter Brook, who said in 2002, "I saw in a remote Iranian village one of the strongest things I have seen in the theater. A group of 400 villagers, the entire population of the place sitting under a tree and passing from roars of laughter to outright sobbing as they saw Hussein in danger of being killed, and then fooling his enemies, and then being martyred. And when he was martyred, the theater became a truth." In Taziye, audience reaction was encouraged. As theater evolved, so did audience interaction. Eventually, you could participate in recreations of large-scale historical events. For example, at the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, you can participate in live, scripted reenactments of both the town halls leading up to the event and the Boston Tea Party itself. Like, you can actually throw fake tea boxes into the harbor. It's really cool. In many ways, it shows the evolution of theater from sitting and watching to applause to cheering to being part of the show. Theater now can make you feel patriotic. It can portray real, complex stories and rope you into them. But you know what other kind of theater makes you feel and participate? You may be asking, how? How can you even begin to connect a deeply religious, respectful, feeling-inducing piece of theatrical history like Taziye, or historical reenactment theater like that of the Boston Tea Party Museum, to Barney, the annoying, horrible purple dinosaur whose most influential societal impact is a broken Thanksgiving Day parade balloon, a fake computer error, and a show so infamously hated that adults, fully grown adults with mortgages and jobs, made an event to attack visages of this character just because he annoyed them that much? I respond by saying that kids loved Barney. He was a smash hit in the 90s. It's why he got infamous enough for something like Barney bashing to occur. Yes, that's what it's called. When a kid's property gets big, and it's annoying a la Caillou, people will take it and twist it into something horrible. However, along with twisting it, it can also evolve past the TV screen. In the show, you're already encouraged to participate in the comfort of your own home, but in theater as a medium, you're never exactly encouraged to do that. You almost never interact with the actors on stage, and you definitely don't sing along. Now, am I saying that theme park theater is a direct evolution of ancient theatrical traditions like Taziye, or as in-depth and real as the Boston Tea Party Museum's reenactments? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that they've created interesting evolutions in the rigidity of theater, and no theme park show, in my opinion, shows this better than A Day in the Park with Barney, which was opened July 11th, 1995 at Universal Studios, Florida, and closed January 1st, 2021. That's right, A Day in the Park with Barney ran longer than Wicked and Hamilton have so far. Granted, it was in a theme park in a land that stayed way past its prime, but that's nothing to scoff at considering Universal Studios Orlando's rides usually only survive a little over 20 years. A Day in the Park with Barney as an experience was made to immediately immerse you in the world of Barney, which I know sounds insane. As you walk through the gates of the courtyard, located in Woody Woodpecker's Kids Zone, you'd be met with a fountain topped with a bronze Barney statue. As you pass it, you'd approach the Barney Theater, where shows ran multiple times a day, nearly every day of the year. Granted, this show only lasts about 20 minutes, but to the performer's credit, that multiple times a day is an impressive feat. Before getting into A Day in the Park with Barney, I need to briefly discuss the practice of pre-shows in theme parks. In major theme parks, think Disney and Universal, many rides have pre-shows, a usually short scene that tells you the story of the ride and prepares you for the experience, which usually employs animatronics or, in the case of A Day in the Park with Barney, a live actor. Getting into the actual show, you start outside a wacky-looking house covered in pipes and doors, somewhat Pee-wee's Playhouse-esque in its design. You're greeted by an animatronic puppet named Bartholomew and an eccentric old person named either Patricia Aloysius Bartholomew or Patrick Aloysius Bartholomew, depending on gender, Mr. and Mrs. Peekaboo for short. In the cut I watched, it's Mr. Peekaboo, so that's how I'll refer to the character for this video. Mr. Peekaboo greets you with a peppy song as he shows you his house, interacting with a couple of gags and animatronics along the way, before getting the people in the audience to imagine their way into the theater, aka Barney's Park, through 3 doors with lights and water sprinklers. As you enter the park, which is actually a theater in the round made using benches, Mr. Peekaboo greets you at center stage where he encourages you to clap and sing along with Barney, and then Barney is summoned in a flash of glitter through a trapdoor. Barney sings all the songs listed here, and Baby Bop and BJ join him at some point too for the full Barney experience. Afterwards, you go into either a small Barney-themed play place or a gift shop. The show even had a Christmas overlay, another common theme park practice called A Holiday in the Park with Barney, where they'd sing Christmas songs with Frosty the Snowman himself even appearing during the show. After all this, can I compare A Day in the Park with Barney to Tazier or the Boston Tea Party Museum? No, not in show style. However, in audience interaction terms and technological advancement, I think it shows a contrast in how far we've come from the acceptable clapping and crying to the throwing fake tea into a harbor and yelling about feeding your family to dancing and singing with the people on stage as they break the fourth wall the entire time because you're part of the show. While Barney may not have been first to have a dance and sing-along children's stage show, I believe the custom-made theater for it and the amount of time it lasted is a great example of this kind of children's entertainment's longevity, and how far audience interaction can go if you allow it. As a theme park stage show, I see it as a shining example of how an audience can be included, if they just use a bit of their imagination.